What is up? Welcome to week 11. I am super stoked for just the remainder of this 52 week. I have lighting. Yeah, I purchased some like studio lights for photography and stuff like that on Amazon. I only thought I got one, but apparently I got a package of two. So yeah, I was editing my video for week 10, and I know I talked about this a little bit on my Instagram story, but I was editing my video, and this past week's video, so week 10, looks god awful just because of how bad the lighting is. Like the camera's trying so hard to make a picture kind of like reasonable. And so like when I'm doing all my editing and stuff like that, I've been trying and messing around by blurring the background of my room or whatever room I'm in just to kind of add more clarity to me. And it's just been looking like shit because I'm brand new to video editing. So I'm still kind of like figuring everything out and like how the lighting and everything needs to be, as well as a lot of new features that I'm using in my video editing software. But two, I just didn't have enough light. And so with this, at least I have a clear image of myself and I actually like feel good about putting it out. But I walk into my studio, or I walk into my room, and it feels like a production studio for content creation and stuff like that, which is super sick. I got so much work done today. I have an hour and a half of a production video that I'm going to be editing tomorrow morning, being Saturday of week 11, and making some shorts out of that because I need to be making more music content, and that's just how that is. I also have an hour and a half in my Ableton course. I know I keep talking about it and there's nothing to be shown yet. I have really been struggling on how to do it because it is, I'm making a product that I want to be the best product that it could possibly be. And I also want to be making this for other producers that are wanting to get into music production, just starting out, or, some of the videos are geared to people that literally got Ableton that day. Some of the videos are like really short, but I'm just kind of like, I'm cutting all the bullshit and like information that you don't really need to know, especially when you're starting making music and just getting right into the details. Cause I'm like, if I were starting off, I would be wanting to just be like, okay, yeah, dude. Yeah. I don't want to listen to you talk. Like, I just want to learn how to make this. And so that's what I'm trying to gear this entire course towards, is just those kinds of people. And like, if you want to do more extensive research, at least everything I'm talking about is being covered. And then if there's a topic or, it's something that we do discuss that is of interest, then you can dive in deeper on your own research. But I'm at least explaining how to use everything in context with what you're going to be doing. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I am talking about too is just kind of like, it's brainless, but like, you have to be doing it for a while for it to become like, it's like learning how to walk. Like if you know how to walk, it's inherent, but teaching somebody how to walk is really difficult because then you actually have to think about what your legs are doing. Same concept with music production. And that's kind of the pitfall that I've been running into with this, is just not over explaining things, because the way I think about it is very complicated, but the way that it's actually executed is very simple. I'm trying to figure this out and try to make it as simple as possible, as fast as possible, and as easy to follow. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I'm just trying to push this as hard as possible. So I'm starting to get delirious. I'm getting tired. I need to go to bed. I'm going to call it here. This is going to be Friday night of week 11. That's crazy. 1-1. What's up? It's Saturday of week 11. Normally I kind of sit down on these and just more so update, what's going on in my life and what I'm doing creatively. A big part of why I'm doing this is just to kind of highlight and show what all of the work looks like trying to make it into the music industry. And I say music industry more so not like producing and DJing and stuff like that, but more so just trying to make music my full-time life and career and job, and doing it my way and not working for anybody else, but like doing what I want to do. So normally that's kind of what I come on here and do. I wanted to kind of take a step back and just share some thoughts more so. Hi, my name is Leaf. I go by the stage name Caustic, and I'm a dubstep producer and DJ. For anybody that doesn't know me, that's what all of this is. This is more of a documentation of just me getting into the music industry and making music my full-time job. And so that's the document. And I was kind of sitting here and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I've been posting a lot about, my journey and what I'm doing in my Ableton course and doing one-on-one production sessions and like starting to push things and like opening up my business and everything like that. I realized that there are a lot of people that were not here at the very beginning, and that's cool. But I just wanted to kind of restate that of just like, this is a 52-week journey of me breaking into the music industry and, really sitting down for an entire year and posting all music content and me talking about this experience for a whole 365 days of the year, and really, really putting in the work that I know I have needed to do, but I haven't actually done. And so this is me just more so sitting down and actually doing that and documenting everything. The biggest reason why I'm doing all of this is to document my life for me. The views are awesome, and it's definitely a plus, I will say. And like watching my growth overall on all my platforms is super fun. But the reason for this is so that I can sit down at the end of the year and kind of, it's going to be a really big project, but, essentially look back at each week as I went through this and take each week and put it into just one video that just shows the evolution of my creative process and my creative journey over an entire year. I feel like it's really easy to fall out of reflecting constantly and just focus on what's in front of you and where you need to go, rather than looking back and looking to see what you've actually accomplished. And I feel like for me specifically, it gets really depressing sometimes when I'm not hitting what I'm looking forward to or looking to get, or like where I'm looking to get, because I'm not reflecting. But like when I pull back and I sit down and actually take a look at where my life originally started from, like even 3 months ago, it's how drastically it changed over that course of time. And so this is just a documentary almost of just me. And I think it's cool to be sharing this with each one of you. But, at the end of the day, it's for me. And I'm super stoked to see where it is. But in saying all of that, this is normally the part where I kind of just talk about what all is going on in my life creatively. And I want to just kind of talk more so for a sec. I was sitting here thinking about the fact that nobody knows who I am. At the moment, my following count my subscriber count on YouTube is 119. On TikTok, it's like 213. And on Instagram, it's like 556. But that was a personal Instagram before it moved into the music Instagram that it is now. And so I have a lot of people that are following me that have just known me over the years. And so I was just kind of sitting here, and it kind of just dawned on me that like I just started. I don't have any numbers to like show, oh my God, he's established. It's all very basic numbers, which is so cool, because this is a time in my life that I'm never going to be able to get back, of being at the bare minimum. Nobody knows who I am and nobody has any expectations of what I'm putting out. And I think that's so cool. And so I was just kind of sitting here for a second. I was just thinking about it. And so I wanted to speak to, everybody watching this. And I'm saying everybody, just knowing that there's a singular person that I'm going to be talking to. If you're at that spot that's just at the basis and you like just started, I'm going to just mainly talk to the producers and stuff like that. This goes for anybody that's doing creative stuff and posting it online. But if you're at the very bottom and you have, anywhere from 3 followers or 3 subscribers to like 200 or 300, like, dude, this is, or even 1,000, like that's a huge number and a huge benchmark. But you just started. Like, it's so cool where you're at, because nobody expects anything from you. You can just try everything. Like, I think one of the biggest things that this has kind of shattered is just not being scared of what I'm putting out and what people are saying about it, but just putting it out anyways and just being like, this is me. This is the content that I do. This is like, if you don't like it, keep swiping. That is a function on every single social media platform. If you don't like the content that I'm putting out, keep swiping. For the people that do stay, like, thank you for staying. Thank you for being part of my journey through this and this process. And like, everybody starts at the bottom. Every single person that you've ever, looked up to, you have, I'm going to just kind of list off a couple of artists I listen to, but like Ray Volpe and Sullivan King and Excision. Excision is a huge one. They all started at ground zero. And there was definitely like slivers of luck here. There was definitely a lot of helping hands to get them to where they are today. But like, they all started at ground zero and not knowing how to do this. And so just jump into it, just start posting and just start creating things. And like, I'm such an advocate for any creation field whatsoever. Like, please, please, please just create. If you're not creating, find something to make. But I can, like, that's just a whole nother world that you can tap into if you haven't, that you're not tapping into, that brings so much light, I feel like, to your life and just a sense of purpose. And I think everybody should create something, whether it's music, pottery, painting, writing, I don't know, like blow glass. Like, that's a very obscure one, but that's cool. And like, just make stuff and post about it. And like, just be so vulnerable. And I think the art of creating is just one of the most vulnerable things that you can do, because it's something that's very precious, I feel like, is exposing your creativity, because the way that you create is not like anybody else creates. And so when you expose that, it's a very vulnerable place to be, and it can be very scary, especially on the internet, putting up videos of what you make, and then you're kind of sitting there and you're like, oh my god, I hope everybody likes it. And like, everybody's been there. And it's definitely a mentality of shatter, because if you're just posting content hoping that it does well, you're never going to go anywhere, because sometimes your content sucks. Or like, I had a video that blew up on TikTok, my version of blowing up, with like 2,600 something views. On YouTube, it got 26. I can't control what happens. And so just keep posting and keep putting it out there. And like, it's so unpredictable, but that's the fun of it, of like, I'm just curious to see how this does. And I think too, a big thing that I realized was making content for social media did way worse than just putting stuff out there. Like my videos that I sat down and put hours of work into versus like, scripting it out and editing it and making sure it all looked good. And then I put it out and it would just bomb, and it'd have like 100 people that viewed it. And I'm like, okay. And then I have one video that like, I'm taking a video of a tree with my song on it, and it has over 2,000 play, or like 2,000 views. How does that work? So like, if you're scared of putting stuff out there, I think that's a good sign that it's something that you should put out there, and just post. Like, just be okay being vulnerable, posting, and being okay with however that video turns out to be. If it's bad, if it has negative comments and negative views and like dislikes or something like that, or it does really well and there are a lot of people that love it and connect with you that way. So yeah, just create, and it's going to be mind-blowing what you can do if you just kind of let go of the outcome and just do it and have fun with it. Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of sitting here, I was like, this is a point in my life that I'll never be able to get back. Nobody expects anything from me. Just have fun creating and figuring it out. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, just my thoughts. We'll do this again on Monday, but I'm going to head to bed. I've done 3 of these takes so far. Well, this is the 3rd one. I was just, I didn't like the lighting in the first 2, and I'm not going to just kind of sit here and trash this. My phone's also at 10%, so we're gonna get through with as much of this as possible before it dies. Yesterday I had insane imposter syndrome. I was sitting down to do my Ableton course all day and just film this, and I have been working so hard on this project. I know I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks, but like right now I have probably about 12 hours worth of content that I filmed for it, and that's like, I just got through the 3rd section. Not all of those hours are going to make the cut, but just having like, trying to figure out how to explain things as simple as possible, and also doing it in the way that I would want to learn how to do Ableton. Like, that's just been my overall goal. And so I'll talk about it, and I'll look at my video and realize I talked like 20 minutes about one button, and I'm like, it's not that important. So then I'll redo it just to make sure I get like the perfect product. I know that it's not realistic, but that's my goal, is to just get the best product that I can possibly get. And yesterday I had crazy imposter syndrome, and I didn't want to do it at all. And like, I laid out on my balcony staring at the sky, and I was like, everything in me just wants to slink away and go play video games right now and just not even worry about this. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing with music production. I felt like I wasn't qualified to be talking about what I was talking about. I've been doing this 8.5 years. Of course, I'm qualified to do this, but like, I didn't feel like I was. And I felt like, I just felt like an imposter that was trying to talk about something that they had no idea what they were talking about, and like make music and like do this 52-week series. Like, I felt like I was an imposter, and it sucked. And I think the hardest thing for me to do was get up and force myself to do it, even though I didn't want to do it. And that's something that I'm also teaching myself, is my actions are going to be what gets me where I want to be. My mood is not going to do anything. And like, if I listen to my mood and just how I feel that day, I'm never going to accomplish anything, because this is just all riding on me. I don't have anybody else to fall back on. Like, so if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And so that was just something I was really struggling with yesterday, but I got up and recorded anyways, and we knocked out 3 whole sections worth of the content, and I was only prepared to do 1.5, maybe 2. And so I had already exceeded my expectations by just sitting down and doing it, even though I didn't feel like doing it. So I was super stoked about that. It is coming along phenomenally. I am going to be editing it all day today, and also editing this and getting this out so that week 11 is out. That's going to be a video for later tonight. Anyways, that'll be it for week 11 though. Crazy. Week 11 is over. I will see you guys tonight for week 12.